Every time I go to a Chuck E. Cheese, I stare at the animatronics and I think, hey, what if this thing were to come to life? I mean, look, it looks so creepy, right? What if I were to tell you that people have actually bought animatronics, kept them in their freaking house, and then the animatronic came to life and attacked them? Yo, what's up, dragons? Welcome back to my channel. Tonight, I'm gonna be telling you true horror stories from Chuck E. Cheese where people bought animatronics and then it came to life. These are actually real. So, if you are brave enough to stick around till the end of the video, hit that like button. Let's see how many people are brave enough to stay around till the end of the video. Let's get 5,000 likes for part number 2, 100,000 likes, and I will buy a Chuck E. Cheese animatronic. That's right, I'll actually do it, but I mean, let's see how many people want me to do that video. So smash that like button and I'll do it just for you guys. Subscribe and turn that post notification bell on so when I upload more videos you don't miss out. Dragon Army. Story number 1. I bought a Chuck E. Cheese animatronic at an auction. I am a collector of vintage arcade and amusement park attractions. My basement is filled to the brim with coin-operated memorabilia along with old ride vehicles and fiberglass figures. I get these old attractions from all over: eBay, garage sales, auctions, you name it. So when I heard that my local Chuck E. Cheese was auctioning off their old animatronics, I knew I couldn't miss out. Before buying Chucky, the only animatronic I had was a crappy pop-up skeleton from an old dark ride that didn't even work. Owning a fully functioning animatronic was a dream of mine, and I finally had the chance to get one. The auction was at a warehouse at the edge of town. They were selling 5 animatronics: a bird, a dog, a Barney looking dude, a chef, and one and only Chuck E. Cheese. My bid was on Chucky, of course, who was the first character to be held up for auction. I ended up winning, surprisingly, with a total bid of $2,000. Since Chucky didn't have a box, me and a few other men carried the hefty rodent outside to my pickup truck. Luckily, I came prepared with bungee cords, so I was able to secure Chucky in the trunk with his head leaning on top of my car. To be honest, it was cool driving around with a giant animatronic strapped to the back of my car. I imagine my car got a lot of pictures taken of it while driving back to my house. When I got home, I slid Chucky onto a hand truck and carefully rolled him into my house. I knew I couldn't bring Chucky into the basement, so I decided to keep him on the main floor. That's when I decided to get a good look at him. He was in fairly good shape, except for a few stains near his neck and his armpit. To be honest, I was sort of creeped out by him. He had a big, gaping mouth and big green glossy eyes that stared right into my soul. He was a bit less creepy, of course. He was something right out of the uncanny valley. I figured once I hooked him all up and got him to move, he would be a bit less creepy. Of course, the animatronic didn't come with all the pneumatic stuff, so it would be a while before I got him to move. It was getting late in the night, so I turned off all the lights in the house. Old Chucky looked very scary in the dark. For some reason, I could only see his eyes, and the rest of him was a black silhouette. I tried not to look at him too much. It was around 11 p.m. when I woke up to a startling noise. It sounded like 2 rusty gears grinding together. I got out of bed to investigate the noise. I turned on the light in the hallway, which lit up the kitchen and the living room where Chucky was standing. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary at first. There were no machines turned on except for the generator, and then I looked over at Chucky. At first, I didn't see anything off about him until I looked at his eyes. They were rolled over to the left, staring in my direction. I would be lying if I said I wasn't unsettled, but I figured it wasn't anything strange. Maybe the servos in his eyes were loose or something. I tried not to look at Chucky when I turned the lights back off, but his bulging green pupils still managed to catch the corner of my eye. That night, I had a nightmare. I was in a strange facility, a factory of some sort, and I was being chased by Chucky. In the dream, Chucky had razor-sharp teeth and glowing red eyes. I ducked under a desk to hide from him, and then I heard footsteps coming in my direction. That's when I woke up. I sighed with relief while flashes of the nightmare Chucky entered my mind, and the sound of the footsteps kept looping through my ears. I tried to think of something else to make the footsteps go away, but the footsteps were still present. Then I realized that the footsteps were getting louder and appeared to be heading towards my room. That's when I realized the footsteps I was hearing were actually real. Someone was walking inside of my house. I quickly rushed out of bed and into the hallway. When I turned on the lights, my eyes widened in shock. Chucky's head was gone and his body was ripped open. Pieces of gray fabric and mechanical parts rested at his feet. It was like something had crawled out of him. Then I heard heavy, muffled breathing behind me. I slowly turned around, scared out of my mind, and in the dark I saw two glossy green eyes stare at me from the dining room. They were bobbing up and down with each breath. The scream that came out of my mouth probably woke up the entire neighborhood. The two eyes started to expand. It was walking towards me. I caught a glimpse at the slim, mutilated legs coming out of the abyss before running to the garage and locking the door. My body was pressed against the door, scared out of my mind. After what felt like forever, I heard sirens from the other side of my house. Someone probably called the police when they heard me scream. I quickly opened the garage door and ran out on my bare feet to the front of my house. A police car and an ambulance were parked outside of my house. When I came to the front of my house, I was questioned by one of the officers. Once I told him everything I knew, he asked me for permission to enter my house. I nodded, and he cautiously trotted to the front door and opened it. I tagged along, hiding behind the officer in a defensive manner. The officer blindly patted the wall until he found a light switch. When the light switch turned on, there was a bloody trail leading to a broken window in my kitchen. Pieces of tan-colored muck, along with blood, were all over the floor and the furniture. Now, I don't know where that thing is or where it is headed, so I advise anyone in the southwestern area of the United States, especially in Utah, to be cautious. Make sure all of your doors are locked and that all of your windows are closed. Make sure any possible entrance to your house is blocked off. An investigation is currently in pursuit by the local police department, and hopefully this entire thing will be resolved very soon. Chucky, I hope to never see you ever again. Do not ever buy a Chuck E. Cheese animatronic. That was a really creepy story, wasn't it? Prepare yourself, the next story is also very creepy. Do you think you can stick around till the end of the video? I guess we're about to find out. Here we go. Story number 2. I used to work at a Chuck E. Cheese's. I never want to go back. Frankly, throughout my life, I have had an unrelenting hate for this place called Chuck E. Cheese. But when I was 18, I had to overcome this. You see, I needed money like nothing for gas, for college, for my parents' retirement. I just needed money, and the only job I could get was at a Chuck E. Cheese. These are the things that happened to me during my time working at Chuck E. Cheese. The way I got got my job was weird. I didn't need to go through a single interview out of an online one that I did. I never even saw the manager until the day I quit. I didn't want to think of this much as it didn't bother me. As much as I blew it off as he was just busy and short-staffed, that was a bad idea. For the first year working in that hell, I was on the day shift. Although it was better than the graveyard shift, it was still weird. The animatronics would glitch sometimes while in the bathroom. They would look at sound, play a loop laugh, and sometimes just walk onto stage. There were only 3 workers in total at my site. They gave me the look, "Why are you here?" and "Get out." Even some parents of the kids gave me those looks. I just shrugged it off. After all, I really needed the money. In due time, the site required a graveyard shift worker. Of course, my luck ends me with the graveyard shift. I still needed the money, but I almost quit. For the first week of the shift, nothing much happened other than Chucky walking, looking at me, and laughing. But on the last day of the second week, I was finishing up my shift cleaning up the bathroom. I heard the same laugh, but it was louder than it should have been. It should have been quieter and less creepy. My body felt like I was running a marathon. As I looked outside the Sharpie-covered stall, he wasn't there. I was relieved, but I knew something was off. While I was leaving the bathroom, about to quit, I hear one of the stalls open. I look behind me and I see him, Chucky Cheese. He was in the stall, right next to mine. My feet couldn't move. My hands were shaking like I had tremors. It let out a cry like a banshee. When I got my legs to start moving, I could hear the mechanical movements of its legs. Even after I left the house screaming for help, it wouldn't stop following me until I got into my car. But even then, it kept following me. I was in a cat and mouse game between me and the monster for a full 3 days. I hope to never see Chucky ever again.
Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Thank you for watching. What do you guys think? Which story is scarier, number 1 or number 2? By the way, apparently both of those stories are based on true events and real things that have actually happened. I guess my question for you is, would you ever buy a Chuck E. Cheese animatronic or not? Leave your comments in the section down below. Follow me on Instagram and Snapchat if you want to see the behind the scenes of my life. Make sure you subscribe and turn that post notification bell on to upload more videos you don't miss out. Hit that like button for more videos. Thank you for watching AldosWorld TV, and remember, it is your world if you want it to be. Peace.